What if I tell you if you could work with gold, you can hammer it, you can solder it, and you can wire wrap it without having to pay the terrifying price tag of the solid gold? That's exactly what Goldfield lets you do. Goldfield is basically the best kept secret in jewelry making. It has the same warm color, sparkle of the 14 karat gold. If you want to work with it, it will help you build your scale, but you do not have to break your bank in order to buy this. Today, I'm going to be making this necklace. If you watch my previous video, you know that I made this necklace a month ago and I have been wearing this since. I took a shower with it, I slept with it, and it never changed color. So today, we're going to solder the wire, we're going to wire wrap, attach it to the chain, and also add the clasp, everything here in this video. I promise you there's not going to be a skipping and no secret, and I will give you everything that I know. Hey everyone, if you are new, my name is C and I am a jewelry maker. I do all the traditional stuff here and my favorite material is silver and gold filled. But real quick before we start, if you are going to solder on the gold field, is that you cannot sand the surface. There should not be any treatment on the surface of the gold field. Unlike silver, in order to have that beautiful mirror finish, you can file the surface all the way up to the highest grade sandpaper. If you are curious on how to do that, I have made a video about it. You can find the video on the link below. But that was about silver. With gold field, you cannot do that. Unless you want to solder the piece, then you can file the edges. Sanding will remove the layers of the 14 karat gold that is being bonded to the base metal. So this is the number one mistake that is being done by people everywhere. So I want to save you from learning the hard way. I want to take a second to talk about the material by itself, because I think gold filled often gets the bad reputation it does not deserve, and mostly because people are mistaken it with the gold plated. And I get it, the names are similar, but the product is completely different. Gold plated is basically a whisper of gold on top of base metal. I was really curious about gold plated by itself, so I was making an experiment on how to gold plate the silver jewelry at home, and I make a video about it. If you are curious, you can go ahead and watch that after you watch this video. But back to gold field. So what is it actually? It's basically a 14 karat gold or 12 karat gold. There's an option here in my supplier. Sometimes I would buy 12 karat, sometimes I would buy 14 carats. The price is not really that different. It's just a different of color and the way it is processed on the bench. The gold is mechanically bonded to a base metal, and here one of my suppliers are actually stated how much percentage of gold it has in the piece of gold wire. Here, as you can see, it's 5%, but I'm not sure if it's really based on the weight or based on the volume, because it doesn't say. I'm going to assume volume, but either way, it's quite a significant layer of gold that we're talking about here. So obviously that is not gold plate, because gold field is durable, it does not flake. You can wear the gold field every day, like I'm wearing my ring now here and the necklace, and it will not give a stain of a green or yellow or black on your skin, so you're safe here. Look, I think I have covered everything about gold-filled, so without further ado, let's get to work. The first material that is this beautiful 16 gauge wire in 7 centimeters. For the closure, I'm choosing this 5 millimeters round clasp, still in yellow gold-filled, and to attach the pendant to the chain, 24 gauge gold-filled wire, and last but not least, this beautiful paper clip chain in yellow gold-filled. Now grab the 16 gauge wire and find the middle segment and mark it with Sharpie. Next, I'm using the round nose pliers. You want to make half circle curve right in the middle of the wire. If the curve is not in the middle, don't worry, you can fix this using the flat nose pliers. Now on the other end of the wire, make a half curve on both sides and make sure that both of the edges meet on the same level and separate them vertically like this. Next, I'm preparing to flatten the edges. Since it's going to be done using the power tool, I prefer to do it on the V-slot. This is my flex shaft. I made a video on how to use it, all the bits and everything. If you're curious, go ahead and check it out. I'll put the link for you. Now, to file off the edges, I'm going to use this Dremel diamond disc. Position 1 on Dremel, and I rest my hands on the V-slot for a support and start the machine. It's going super fast. Let's look at it closer. You can see that once the edge touched the running Dremel disc, the edges that were pointy earlier shifted to a flat shape. Once both of the edges are flat, then put them together close. There should be no gap in between, so the solder will flow perfectly, because remember, with the gold filled, you cannot really sand the excess gold solder, so it's very tricky. To make it visible, you can mark the separation with the Sharpie marker. And let's prepare the soldering. To know the step, you can watch this video where I went over everything about the tools and materials and how to solder properly. I will put the link on the description below. Here I am crushing the borax stone to protect the gold field from being overheated. And I need to make sure to super coat the piece. You know, it's never too much. Place the piece on the soldering block. And I want to make sure again that the gold field is coated. The next step should be applying the solder paste, but since I forgot to film it, I'm going to show you how the serang look like. This is easy solder for 14 karat yellow gold. When firing, it is not recommended to fire the whole body. For the gold field, just fire on the piece where you want to solder and don't fire directly for more than 30 seconds. And since the piece is very small, it should take no more than a minute to finish the work. The rule is once you see that the solder melts, you can turn off the fire as soon as possible. Once they're done, check the work. Go ahead and dump it into the pickle jar. My solution is citric acid and warm water. If you want to warm it, you can pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds. On another note, please don't follow me on the pickle here. If your pickle look like this, it's time to change. I'll do that once I'll finish making the video, I promise you. Here I'm checking the work while wiping off the excess citric acid. Dairy keepers, I feel like I should make the curve smaller because ideally the diameter should be around 6 millimeters, and I feel like this one is way too large. Let's see how we can do to fix this. I'm straightening it up using the parallel pliers. I'm grabbing the small mandrel. I'm attempting to install it inside the ring mandrel. Obviously, they are too small, so I'm going to roll it with a thicker cloth and just put it into the slot. I hope that it's working. Okay, now that the thing is immovable, I'm attempting to narrowing the inner diameter of the paper clip. Right now, it's around 6 millimeter. The ideal size somewhere around 4. And I'm going to mark it with the Sharpie to know where I should be fixing it. And using the small cloth like this, it's going to help to protect the layer of goldfilled so it will not be scratched before pinching it using the flat nose pliers. Okay, it seems to be working. I'm going to check it. It works on a normal day. I can just adjust it using the pliers like today. While sometimes you have to hammer against the mandrel until you get the size you desire. I'm going to use the parallel pliers to do the last shaping work to really give a very flat and geometric look on the paper clip shape. Next, I'm grabbing my anvil. This is the hammer that you should use to give a texture for your goldfilled. It doesn't have to be on the same brand, but please make sure that the head is really smooth. So smooth and shiny, you can actually look at your reflection on there. I'm going to hammer one side. I don't have to hammer it really heavily because since it's a 16 gauge wire, it's already been hard. The purpose of the hammering is not to harden it actually, just to give it a texture. And here you can already see the shine thanks to the light hammer texture. I always love this texture. And don't worry if the shape is warping up, it's normal. You can flip it and hammer the other side using the rawhide mallet. Let's stop for a while here and admire the gold-filled paper clip that we have made together. The next step is to attach the pendant to the chain, which is very tricky because I have a very old eyes. But let's do it. First, I decided that the length of the necklace would be 38 centimeters. To find the middle of the necklace, which is 38 divided by 2 equals to 19 centimeters. Right now, I'm going to mark the middle of the paper clip pendant using Sharpie and also marking the middle of the necklace, which is I'm just going to write it down on my ruler here. I'm grabbing the 24 gauge wire, leave 2 centimeters and fold it at 90 degrees. Now using the raw nose pliers, make a circle that goes against the direction of the wire all the way back. It's gonna look like this. Now with the flat nose pliers, open it and thread in the paper clip. Using the flat nose pliers, you're going to close them together and wire wrap the leftover of the 2 centimeters, which is not anymore 2 centimeters, and wrap it all the way down 3 rounds. If you get only 2 rounds, that's okay. The point is turn it until you cannot do it anymore, and with this little tiny bit, grab the cutters and just cut off the leftover wire. And that's how you wire wrap anything basically. And I'm gonna take another 2 centimeters plus a couple of millimeters. I'm gonna be doing the same wire wrap than earlier with the same direction of the circle too. And this time I'm threading in the chain. As you can see here, the wire wrap is going to meet in the middle. It's gonna look like coil, which is very pretty for me. I think it's very pretty and it looks handmade. Now that the half side of the necklace is attached to the paper clip, let's decide the length of the half part of the chain by doing this. Plug in the blue marks that we made earlier on the paper clip onto the ruler. Bring it all the way to 0 centimeter. And then you want to subtract the length of the chain by 7 millimeters because here we're going to replace it with the wire wrap. To make it easier, I'm marking it with the Sharpie before I cut it with the cutters. On this end, I'm going to add the classic wire wrap connector that we made earlier to connect the chain to the pendant. And lastly, the same technique on the other part of the chain, except for this side, we are going to attach the clasp. So we will reduce around 1.2 centimeter.
I don't know if I can find my way out. I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe. And nobody is watching at night. I wanna rise up.
Diary Keepers, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for the way I look. I feel like I'm not really on top of my health. I have allergy every day. I'm sneezing, I'm coughing, and I have to take medication. And at the same time, I'm also learning about so many things. For example, in order to make this video, I consulted AI on how to do it, and hopefully I'll be able to share to you everything about it through another video. I don't know if I'm comfortable with it yet, but you know what? The world is moving forward And if you do not learn about new things, you basically get stuck. I don't want to be that person who get left behind. Enough of the blah blah. I'm going to go ahead and make the necklace, and you have seen it. The one that I'm wearing is the rose gold version, and the one that we made earlier is yellow gold filled version. Let me know in the comment below if you like the rose gold filled or the yellow gold filled version. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share this video to as much as friends that you know that might be benefited from this video. If you know a friend who is learning how to work with goldfilled, maybe this video is for them. Diary keepers, stay creative and be kind to yourself and others. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.